waiting for it to pop up. Alright. So, I think we're on chapter 18. So, Forsetti droned as his mind tried to keep up with the torrent of information Morgan was giving him. The other gods have had years, decades, even of influence. Yeah, Morgan confirmed. And these movies and books and dolls, they've had this platform to tell our stories. I don't know about that. I could show you when the Norse mythology stories she caught herself began to gain traction. The basics, like Odin, Thor, and Loki, have been in history books and stuff forever. But 70 or so years ago, people started writing about them again. The comic books inspired kids who grew up to write more books and make movies. The other stories, the Greeks and Romans, have always been big hits, so it makes sense that you guys blew up too. Oh, side thing. I'm pretty sure I'm not that far into it, so I can't 100% confirm. But I think I'm like reading some kind of like Greek or Roman god smut book thing I just started today. But they only discuss certain gods? Yeah, what I considered the major gods until I found out about you. They were looking into Oracle, browsing the internet for images and info on the other gods. Forsetti had accepted that the other gods tried to erase him and was hoping to use his newfound strength to punish them. Though now he wondered how much power they had accumulated over the time he slept. He could trace a pretty clear line through the rise of popularity in their stories, and he had to assume Loki had influenced or inspired certain stories to be told. Though he still didn't understand how Loki had remained awake when even the strongest Aesir had slept. He knew Loki was clever and patient, and he knew he was convincing. It was no wonder over the course of centuries he had been able to construct the stories he wanted the humans to tell. If it hadn't been for that one altar. You know, Morgan stated, I still don't know why they did what they did. I know you think you told me, but can you explain it like I'm 5? Forsetti's side. Loki killed Balder, which was the first sign of Ragnarok. Which is the end of the world? Mostly, a few survive and build a new world. And you guys know this because Odin tossed his eye into a well? Morgan asked doubtfully. No, that was for divine knowledge. This was told to him by a prophetess. So, you guys knew it was coming? We did, Forsetti answered, nodding his head. Frigg tried to protect him. She went to every living creature and plant in the realms and had them swear they'd never harm him. All but the mistletoe, a young and weak thing that she didn't think would be able to harm him. How Loki figured that out? He disguised himself and asked Frigg if all had sworn. And she answered? Morgan stared with a fair bit of judgment. You all know he can shapeshift. You knew he would be a key player in Ragnarok, and you keep falling for that? Millennia are long. We make mistakes. Anyway, we found Loki and punished him. Yeah, cave and snake and other horrors, skip that. The giants became agitated at our punishment. Loki's wife, Sigyn, was well loved among their people, and they didn't like seeing her paying for Loki's sins, he explained. She got herself into that mess and married a jerk. Why would the average giant care? So I thought. Turns out fear and uncertainty can be harnessed more easily than logic. Their daughter, Hel, gained quite a bit of influence during that time. She encouraged their anger, redirected it against the Aesir instead of the one who had truly done wrong. Ragnarok was coming. We all knew it. Forseti got quiet and stared at the wall for a moment. Morrigan sat patiently and waited. She knew he had been hurting, but wanted to fully understand the situation. He had altered between hours of sullen silence, sitting in his throne, and manic effort to arrange his hall. These moments were interspersed with angry ranting and naps, making Morgan realize that gods weren't all that different from stressed out teenagers. Thanks for the alert, Cammy. This is where you lose me, she said quietly. If you knew it was coming, why couldn't you stop it? Why let Loki hang around? Hey! Thanks, Wolf, for the raid! Alright, let's try this. Well, that didn't work. Nerdy! How are you doing? Wolf, how was your raid? I'm trying to do a shout out. Did not work either way. We'll give it a couple minutes. It seems to do that. Nerdy, how are you doing? I love the craziness on the screen. I love all the emotes. Nerdy, I don't know if you are in my Discord, but I posted a photo, but I got my notebook. Okay, so you've probably seen it then. So I have to get a webcam though, so y'all could see, you know. Yes, I appreciate it. Wolf, I'm trying to do a shout out for you. Just, it may be a minute. There we go. It worked that time. I'm having issues with it, so. I hope you had a good stream though. For the people that just came in, I'm Legacy Bookish. And I stream book, basically. We're in the middle of reading Norse mythology book, so yeah, I don't know what it is. It's like, I don't know. I have to like give it a couple minutes to like for it to work. I don't know. You should have seen it when Spoons was in here. Yeah, so my next step is to get a webcam. And then I have some ideas for it once I get my webcam. So I'm excited. Alrighty. So where was I? Really? I did not know that. So like when Sunshine's in here, she gets it like every time, and then when I try it, it's just like, let's try it this way, or let's try this other way and see if that works. Alrighty, millennia are long. We make mistakes. Anyway, we found Loki and punished him. Wait, I read that. Okay. Where was I? So I thought, turns out fear and uncertainty can be harnessed more easily than logic. Their daughter, Hel, gained quite a bit of influence during that time. She encouraged their anger, redirected it against the Aesir instead of the one who had truly done wrong. Ragnarok was coming. We all knew it. Vercetti got quiet, stared at the wall for a moment. Morgan sat patiently and waited. She knew he had been hurting, but wanted to fully understand the situation. He had altered between hours of sullen silence, sitting in his throne, and manic effort to arrange his hall. These moments were interspersed with angry rants and naps, and I read this, making Morgan realize that gods weren't all that different from stressed out teenagers. "This is where you lose me," she said quietly. "If you knew it was coming, why couldn't you stop it? Why let Loki hang around? Why keep his giant wolf child here that will kill Odin? Why give Hel diminution over the dead and therefore an army? Why let everyone play a game where they tried to hurt Baldur with spears? I feel like there were a lot of questionable decisions." "We're Norse. Life is hard, and we endure many trials and suffering. Like any true Norse, we face those challenges. We don't shy away. What message would it send to our followers if we backed out of a fight? If we faced death with anything other honor? With our weapons in hand, we live our lives and come what may." "Uh-huh." Morgan grunted. "Except the lead god, your god-grandfather, was obsessed with finding a way to avoid it and apparently did." "Yes, so it would appear. We knew he sought to change the minds of the Norns, to stop the inevitable." I don't know what's going on. "For most of us, it was a humorous quirk. Never thought we had a chance of success. I, for one, didn't think he would determine me to be the problem. We didn't think that he'd go as far to destroy the gods in order to appease and delay the giants. The guy that hung himself for 9 days so he could understand some ruins? It didn't occur to you he might go to any lengths to succeed? You've been doing some research than you let on. You've been doing more research than you let on," Vercetti said with a sharp tone. "Well, you haven't exactly been chatty these past few days, so I had to go looking on my own. Do you think Ragnarok can happen now?" "I don't think so. Most of the giants are forgotten, and 1,000 years is a lot of time to cool the animosity. Plus, Baldur's back now and Loki's free. So what's the issue? We can all just relax and stuff, right?" "No," Vercetti said sadly. "No, too many of my people still sleep, and the world below needs to hear our stories. I've been researching too, you know. The land you come from, it's just as trouble as any I've seen, and your people have forgotten how to be a proper society. Odin, all-father or not, must answer for his choices. There's work to be done yet." "Then let me show you what I've been working on." Morgan stood and walked across the room, torn on whether to follow her and let her get away with ordering him around or sating his curiosity. Forsetti begrudgingly stood and walked slowly after her. When he arrived at Oracle, he saw a waterfall of posts and comments that Morgan had explained amounted to a conversation in the chaotic world of the internet. I have reactivated some of my older accounts that no one knew were mine. That way not every account I'm using shows as being new. Why would you have accounts where people didn't know who you were? Isn't the point to talk with friends and like-minded people? Oh, sweet innocent Forsetti. That's what all the sites say. Some people even use them that way. But the majority of accounts on some of these sites are fake people ingratiating themselves as subtly or not so subtly, directing conversation or influencing people's opinions. Sexually frustrated teens invented it. Governments perfected it. Sorry, my cat just climbed up on me. What does sex... Never mind, carry on. So I've been putting these accounts to use. One was a fan fiction writer with quite a following. She's been writing a series of Forsetti stories. Morgan looked up suddenly and said seriously, "Don't read those." Looking back to the screen, she pulled up a site with artistic renderings of gods. This account is a guy that was obsessed with K-pop stars and drew pics of them shirtless. Now he's put out a few special edition Forsetti images. Those don't look anything like me. So, people just have to think about you, right? Besides, that weird page boy haircut isn't going to get anyone's juices flowing. What's wrong with my hair? Near every man had this style in the late 900s. The issue is that you have bangs. You've been watching people. Get a haircut. That's more modern. Like this? Forsetti took a moment and his hairstyle changed. The thick waves on the side thinned out, the bangs growing to a similar length. Forsetti pulled a ribbon from seemingly nowhere and tied the top layer back in a messy wavy ponytail, the underlayer still falling around his shoulders. When he pulled the hair back, Morgan saw he had grown a beard as well. Morgan stared with her mouth open for a long moment until Forsetti got a bit nervous. Well, this is what the modern Viking representation looked like. Is it alright? It's good. Makes you look like a completely different person. How you do that? Morgan hoped that her question would divert attention from the blush she could feel warming her cheeks. Immortal being composed of thoughts and prayers. I can't change my bone structure or anything without the beliefs of followers, but things like hair and clothes are easy enough. Princess! Thanks for the lurk! Okay, so my candy choices are really low. Sorry, I got cat hair all over the place because my cat decided to like jump on my lap. Okay. I have a peanut butter M&M. I have a Whopper. I think I have stickers. I think I have Snickers and peanut butter Snickers. So whichever one you choose. Snickers peanut butter. Sounds good. No. Don't go. Get up there. No, no, no parry. Yeah, there you go. Go. Okay, I got the peanut butter Snickers. Thank you so much, princess. Hope you are doing well. Alright. I'm doing well. Today was a long work day. I was cleaning a house for like 8 hours, so. But it's okay. Yeah. It's a huge house. Like, I don't even clean all of the house. Like, there's 2 bedrooms and a bathroom that I didn't clean, and it still took 8 hours. It's a huge house. It's honestly a little too big for me, but it's whatever. Alrighty. Princess! Oh, I don't know if you're still on here. Did you see my video that I posted in Spoon's Discord? I don't know if you're still in here, but if you are. Yeah. Yeah, this house has... Technically, it's only 3 bedroom, but then there's... 1, 2, 3... There's 4 full baths, and one of those has like a jacuzzi tub, and then they have another half bath. Yes, I could share it to your Discord too if you prefer. But yeah, if you look under... Yes! That's what I'm saying. And it disappeared like right after I stopped recording. That's what I'm saying. Like... I don't think anybody knows about that. Because a friend of mine that's been playing it like non-stop, he didn't even know about that. Like, when I seen that, I was like, what the freak? So yeah, alright. We're going to continue reading. So, Versetti seems like he turned into basically a hot Viking guy. Morgan hoped that her question would divert attention from the blush she could feel warming her cheeks. Immortal being composed of thoughts and prayers. I can't change my bone structure or anything without the beliefs of followers, but things like hair and clothes are easy enough. Well, I'll adjust the artwork accordingly. I didn't really draw these. I stole them from another site and made a few changes. The big effort is focused over here though. She returned to the view that had been up when they approached. This is Follow Me. It's a running thread of topics that people post and then others can discuss it in the comments. Everyone's here, unlike Cooler, which is mostly young people and old people that still think they're young. This is our window to the mainstream. I have about 30 accounts working on discussing politics, criminal justice, and eventually you. They've been picking up followers at a pretty good clip. If I assume about half the followers are other trolls or bots, we're still making some headway. even if the other fakes pick up the thread and run with it, will accomplish the goal, which is keep people talking about you. If I have my way, you'll be a lightning rod for debate. We've already seen it to some extent with the news agencies. I think we could lean into that a bit more. In fact, I'm banking my existence on it. I know you also want to give a platform to the other forgotten. I've been working on that too. Actually, your little priestess was already a step ahead of me. Ava? Yeah, she's been using her following to educate people on the other Norse gods, the less brutal ones. She just finished a series of interviews with a Norse expert in a cowboy hat from Colorado, discussing the origins of a bunch of the goddesses. It was good. Do you think Farah would be up to hanging out with me? She sounds pretty awesome. At a confused look from Forsetti, she continued. She's also made sure to bring you up in a peaceful light, focusing on your role as a fair judge, not a bloodthirsty conqueror. She lost some followers early on, but she's starting to grow again with a different following. But not totally. A lot of the casual followers, I'm talking thousands, have stayed around and are engaging with the new content. I've been inserting myself in the comments to keep the flame stoked, asking questions I know the answers to, so someone will answer and tell a cool story or something. The internet loves to explain things and then argue about the explanations, so really it's not hard to get them talking. Then I make a reference to something I read that another of my accounts posted, and it becomes a big self-referential discussion where I control the path. Morgan, I think you frightened me. Not the first time I've heard that. How did you come up with all of this? Forsetti asked. I don't have anything else to do, and I grew up on the internet. It's not much different from what troll farms do. Have they escaped Jotunheim? I always forget to pull this up. Here we go. Jotunheim. No. Different kind of troll, I assume. Wait. No. Different kind of troll, I assume. We mean it as someone who makes things up on the internet for attention. You have trolls? Yeah, they're giants, just tend to live with their families alone and not in the larger towns. They're a bit standoffish, but not so bad. Anyway, you told me to do this like my afterlife literally depended on it, so I'm giving it my all. You're a good person, Morgan. You don't deserve what happened to you. Yeah, well, I wasn't doing much with it down there. She pointed to the screen. Might as well give it a fresh start and try to change the world. A fresh start. He mumbled to himself. Hey, let's see about getting you some new clothes. Where? We'll talk to Frigg. She's the goddesses of weaving. Can't you just, make clothes appear? Morgan asked. Do you want me designing and fitting your clothes? Even making them with essence? I need to know what I'm making. No. Let's go ask the Queen of the Gods to make me some clothes, I guess. Morgan started walking along with Forsetti, who seemed a bit eager to go. Hey, are you just using this as an excuse to see that bountiful attendant of hers? She's been popular on the fan sites, and I heard she had returned. I don't know what you're talking about, Forsetti answered as he walked briskly down the path. Where would you hear that from? You don't talk to anyone else. You talk in your sleep, Morgan smirked. Whoops. Lady Frigg, Forsetti bowed as he approached Odin's concert. I've come to request your expertise. Grandson, it is good to see you. Our last meeting was unfortunate, and I'd be glad to help put it behind us. How can I assist you? My charge, Morgan here, only has the clothes she died in, and would be grateful for other options. I have no talent for these things, and would be honored to be able to gift her creation. Your creations. Morgan looked Morgan over. Yes, I can see that can be arranged. Tell me, Morgan, do you favor such elegant yet severe styles, or would you like to explore other fashions? Morgan, a bit taken aback by Frigg's willingness to help and not prepared for the question, stuttered. Yes, ma'am. I like this style, but I would gladly defer to your taste and recommendations. She had picked up on Forsetti's formal and respectful tone and wasn't sure which of the gods could fry her with their minds, yet so followed suit. Forsetti, dear, would you give us some time? Frigg asked. Forsetti looked to Fula, who was sitting behind the thrones with other attendants. Yes, my lady. Forsetti went to Fula and greeted her before asking her to step aside to somewhere more private. And that's the end of that chapter. Get a drink here and we'll continue. Mouse is not working very well, but that's okay. Oops. Alright. So we will continue. Oh, just a recap. Chapter 18. Basically, we just read that, we basically learned what Morgan has been doing on the internet to help awaken the gods. So she's been getting people talking about the other gods and making them aware of them. And now they basically went to try to get her more clothes. And that's basically the end of that chapter. So now we're on chapter 19. Nineteen. Okay, I think my cat's going to try to climb on me again. Yep, there she goes. I don't know why she's really wanting attention tonight. Alright. Alright, people, let's get into place and quiet on the set. An assistant shouted. The noise in the cavernous studio dropped quickly as the builders and other stagehands stopped their work and made their way to the food table. On the set, a small bedroom and a and a cut-in-half living room were lit, and two young women walked to their place. "Now remember," the director called out, "you've just gotten home from the BDSM club and found a letter that your film was rejected from being entered in the Indiana Film Festival. You're desperate to become famous and trying to figure out what to do next when the idea comes to Megan." "I don't remember any of that from the news article," the shorter actress who played Megan responded. "Doesn't matter. Creative liberty for entertainment. Now look, I have 3 days to get this thing in the can before my next project starts, so let's get to it. If you guys could amp up the repressed lesbian attraction, that would help sell the scene." An actress went through their lines, and another crew prepared their gear to head into the woods for tomorrow's shoot. A tall figure stood with a group of producers and watched. "I'd never seen a script and crew came together so fast to capitalize on a current headline," a balding man remarked. Well, luckily I had some writers without a project currently to work on it," the taller man, wearing snakeskin boots and brown suit, said. "You'll be the first to get the story out there, even before the trial gets underway." "Are we sold on this being idol worshipping and intentional?" The other man is a bit taller than the balding man, but still a foot shorter than the man in a suit. "Paul, who's your primary audience here?" the man said in a suit asked. "Generally women between 34 and 70, Paul responded. "They'll attack this like piranhas on a cow. It has everything they're looking for. Demon worship, lesbians, punishment for those things, and in the end, a heartwarming message about the importance of family." "Well, you haven't steered us wrong yet, Mr. Laufenson," the balding man interjected. "I don't think we can have this edited and ready to air by the end of the month." "Good to hear. I have another meeting to go to. Call if you have any issues." The man in the suit, Luca Laufenson, dismissed himself and headed to the car waiting for him. The latest scion of the Laufenson family had a full day of production meetings and investor calls to attend to. His company, Dog Entertainment, had been a pillar of Hollywood since its inception, along with television and print investments. While the young CEO was known to keep a low profile and limited availability, as seemed to be a family trait, the company could always be relied on to be invested in pop culture touchstones, producing content in a variety of formats, or providing funding for up-and-coming projects. Luca's next stop would take him to their new holdings. "Welcome back," Daisy Dunn said from her studio. She was sitting in a firm armchair angled towards a coffee table along with a man. He occupied an identical chair on the other side of the table. Coffee mugs half filled with cool water sat in front of them. "This is the final word with Daisy Dunn, and we're here with Freedom First News correspondent Doug Hatcher. Tonight we're diving deeper into the twisted phenomenon of occultic worship by liberal extremists in an attempt to cause harm to good people. Doug, I know we've discussed this cult of Forsetti before, especially after the ritual murder that happened in Indiana, on both our shows. What has changed since those events? Thanks for having me, Daisy, Doug said. We've been talking for years about the cable inside the Beltway that's grooming children and working against the interests of honest Americans. And now their blinded followers are enacting the most evil part of their plan yet. An attack on Christian faith by supplementing it with false gods. We would be more beneficial to them than a population of pagan worshipping voters that will do their bidding. A few paid actors put out some allegedly funny videos showing stage acts of divine retribution, and these sheeps eat it right up and penetrate the narrative. Old news though, Doug. We have established and proven that weeks ago, and our viewers are certainly smart enough to see through the tactic. But I believe some new information has come to light that we're ready to break right here on the final word. You're right, Daisy. It pains me to say this. We were leaked a thumb drive discovered by a computer technician in Michigan who asked for anonymity for his own safety. Doug looked towards the camera directly now, turning slightly in his seat. On this hard drive is files, including a list of names, tilted needs punishment, and assorted news articles and files detailing their alleged crimes. The images come across your screen as heavily redacted to protect the victims, but we are working with authorities on what we believe to be a conspiracy to cause harm or death to these citizens outside of the legal system. Unbelievable! Daisy wrinkled her nose and looked at Doug with anger-creased brows. Is there any pattern to the names or other evidence to suggest why these names are on that drive? We can't be sure, but the names of some prominent conservative politicians as well as accused criminals awaiting trial are included. The drive itself bears a football-shaped marking from a pen, which we know is a ruin commonly associated with the Forseti cult. Doug shook his head a bit and frowned into the lens. We warned just last week this would be the logical escalation of the vigilant justice that people are asking for on social media. It may seem harmless and innocent, but every video goes more legitimacy to the sick elite. I'm sickened, Doug. I really am. First, it's pizza used as a cover to traffic children. Now, cooler videos to desensitize Americans to ritual sacrifice and encourage mob behavior. When do good, decent Americans stand up and say, enough is enough? I'm not some pawn for you to play with. Well, all I can say, Daisy, is for our viewers to be vigilant and stand by. It's going to get hotter before we fix it, and we'll be bringing more as we uncover the files of this drive. If you see someone sharing these videos, you need to downvote and comment to discourage the behavior. Every time you click past one, you're saying it's okay for the maker to pervert our brave police and justice systems. Oops. Give me 1 second. I should, I probably should get a drink right now. Y'all can hear that. Oh my goodness. Okay. Um. Where was I? Right there. Whoops. In a contemporary and stark office in Indianapolis, Megan may sit with her parents and her legal team. The lawyers and assistant present are young but have years of experience. They had approached Megan soon after her arraignment and convinced her to fire her public defender and allow them to represent her pro bono. They had been honest. They were an assortment of junior and senior associates from large law firms that had started their own firm and were looking to make a name for themselves. Megan's case would be a huge publicity opportunity for them if they won. Megan liked the pitch. It meant they'd be desperate to win. Her parents added that they had to be better than a free public defender. Today, they were discussing their strategy and preparing for the upcoming trial. We need to make sure we're always aware of the public perception, a woman was lecturing. Every eye roll and smile would get talked about. Remember how much people were analyzing the Amber and Johnny trial. We'll also need to approve the outfits you'll be wearing to court ahead of time. If you could send us some pics of options. Megan was struggling to focus on the conversation. She didn't want to think about outfits. She didn't want to discuss her posture and listening attentively and all that stuff. She wanted to go back to bed. She wanted to hide under her covers and shut the world out and tried to forget about how badly she missed her friend. She knew there were reports outside her house and knocking at the door occasionally. She knew news networks were talking about her. She had overheard her parents discussing it. Her parents had been great about protecting her and giving her room back. They had even gone to her apartment and cleaned it out so she wouldn't have to go back there. I hope Morgan's parents are doing okay. Megan, the woman interrupted her thoughts. I know it's hard to talk about this and break it down so clinically. I know it still hurts, but we need to be present. We're here to help you. She wasn't unkind or condescending. She looked genuinely concerned and understanding. Yeah, Morgan croaked through a dry mouth. I know, sorry. Oh, that was the end of the chapter. Cal, how are you doing? Thanks for being here. I just got done. I just got to the end of my second chapter, actually. I seen that you were live the other day. I was gonna hop on, but I was getting ready for bed. Oh, are you like sick in bed and everything?